Hello all, this is Katie Hogan, and I'm sorry if you still can't see me. My webcam is a bit on the fritz right now. I'm going to go ahead and give you my presentation called Week 4 Questions. The essential question that I chose for this week was, how do I learn? And the secondary part to the question that I added was, and how does this affect me as a teacher? The personal questions that I came up with was, number 1, how do I take what I've learned and then teach it to others in a way that makes sense and follows guidelines? First, I think you need to examine the guidelines and outline your lesson to meet the standards set by your district or wherever it is that you're teaching, to figure out what exactly it is required for you to teach and for the kids to learn. And then, number 2, you can flesh it out with whatever else you would like to teach, so that you can then kind of incorporate some fun or more useful elements that make the class more unique and kind of make it your own, which kind of makes it a little more fun. And number 3, you take all these things that you need to learn that you need to teach, and then organize it into a pattern that is logical and allows the students to see the steps that they can learn to do it themselves. Rather than just teaching it in maybe the way that I would understand it, I need to try and see it from my students' perspective and outline my lessons in a way that they're going to understand and be able to follow. The second question was, how do I teach the students by the Spirit in a secular classroom? Because as we all know, according to our reading, that the Spirit is the best way for people to learn and to acknowledge truth. I've thought about this a lot, and ultimately I've decided that the students can still feel the Spirit without recognizing it to be the Holy Ghost. If I can make my classroom a peaceful place where kids can feel free to be themselves and to really do their best in academic sense, that it will invite the Spirit and the students will be able to enjoy the blessings of the Holy Ghost's presence, even if they don't recognize it to be the Holy Ghost. My third question was, how do I get my students to do their part in the learning process? We all know that as a teacher you can try as hard as you want, but you do need a little bit of student participation and their willingness to interact with you for it to be a successful class. The first answer that I got was that students need to feel supported in the classroom and know that I care about each of them individually and about their academic success. I had a teacher in high school that played favorites a lot, and that was very hurtful to me because obviously I was not one of the favorites, and it made me nervous around her and kind of turned me off to whatever she was teaching. I couldn't really engage with her because I felt like she didn't care about me and that she didn't really want me in her class. So I think as a teacher it's valuable to not do that, to let your students know that they are all equal and all loved in your classroom. Number 2, students can feel much more engaged when they have some measure of choice and participation in their lessons. As I've said before, I believe that it's very beneficial for kids to be able to kind of have some choice and wiggle room when it comes to choosing how they want to learn things, whether it be different options on assignments, to do it as a poster, visually, to do it as a video or a song, I don't know, just different options and different ways to learn maybe that would help them to engage more. I have a teacher right now that for all of our assignments, he asks us for feedback, and we're encouraged to tell him what we liked about it, what we got out of it, things that were or were not helpful, and things that could be changed. It really engages me as a student to participate this way, and it helps the teacher to improve his class. We all feel like we're doing our part in the learning process and that he actually cares whether or not his assignments are useful and the most efficient that they can be. So those are my questions. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week. Thank you.